It was barely raining, but enough to feel dramatic. I stood under that flickering streetlight, still wearing your hoodie. You didn't say goodbye, just walked away with your hands in your pocket. But halfway down the block, you turned your head. You looked back, not for long, but long enough to keep me waiting. And maybe that's worse than not turning at all, because now I wonder what it meant. I never called after you, but I stayed there until the lights stopped buzzing, until the silence felt intentional, until I started to forget how your name used to taste. I told myself it was kindness, but kindness doesn't leave you like that. You looked back like you weren't sure, like I was maybe worth one more second. I replay it too often, that one glance that didn't save us. You look back, and now it's all I see. Not your arms, not your smile, just that moment where you almost stayed. I wish you hadn't, because I still believe you almost did. I changed my sheet, deleted your number, stopped rereading the last text. But I couldn't take that one song off the playlist, the one you always skip but I loved. I didn't want to hear your voice, but I needed mine. You're still on my playlist, not in photos, not in words, but in the bass line that hits just like your laugh. I don't miss you, just the version of me that danced. I hear it in the grocery store, low volume, all three, and I hum along like I never lost anything. But I did, even if I don't say it. I don't press skip, but I don't turn it up. You're still on my playlist, somewhere between memory and echo. And I don't cry, but I do pause, because even now I let it finish our playlist. Maybe that's okay, I outgrew us, but not the chorus, not yet. I'll skip it someday, just not tonight. Through the dinner, laughed at the right parts, even told your joke better than you ever did. But when the check came, I stared at the candle like it might say something instead. No one noticed, 'cause I'm good at that. I didn't let it show. The crack beneath the lipstick, the silence in my laugh. You said you glow, and I said I'm fine, and that was the lie I wore back. because I wanted to, but because I didn't want the questions. You kissed my cheek like everything was normal. I didn't let it show how much I needed one more minute to be alone before I broke. But I waited like I always do. I didn't let it show, but that doesn't mean it didn't hurt, just that it didn't interrupt the scene. I cried in the hallway and still fix my hair before I walked in. You never told me you loved the way I said morning, or how I always tied my shoes wrong. But I think you noticed, because your silence felt a little too warm sometimes. There's a kind of love that lives in what's unsaid. What you never said stayed longer than your voice. It curled into my habits and filled the pauses you didn't promise. But I felt it. You never told me you were leaving, but the way you folded your clothes slower that day said enough and not quite everything. I listened for your goodbye, it never came. What you never said still answers the questions I never asked, and some part of me still writes it down as if it was real. What you never said was almost kinder than hearing it's over, 'cause I gotta pretend for one more day. But now I speak for you, and that's the part I'm still not sure is fair. I wanted to tell you that I still dream in your voice, that some songs still taste like you. But I smiled, said it's been good, and let you walk by. Not because it didn't matter, but because it did. I kept it quiet, not to lie, but to protect the part of me that still hoped you'd ask. I said nothing, and you said, see you. You look different, not better, not worse, just someone I didn't reach for, even when I wanted to. I joke about the past like I rewrote it, but at night you still show up in soft places. No one knows, but I let the memory breathe. And only at night I admit I miss you. I reread our almost and forget how they ended. Only when the world sleeps do I let you stay. I don't call, don't text, but I still check if your name is online just once, and then I turn off the screen. The dark is kinder to people like me. Only at night do I wear the what if again. It still fits, even if it stings. But I take it off before sunrise. Only at night do I say your name in the quiet without judgment, like it means something. Still, but come morning, I forget you again on purpose. It wasn't sudden, just a slow warmth, like tea steeping or laughter I didn't force. I opened the curtain without bracing myself. The sky wasn't special, but it didn't feel heavy. The light came back, not in the sunrise, but in me. I didn't wait for someone to say it, I just noticed I wasn't naked. I made plans without checking if you'd approve, and bought the candle you always said smelled too sweet. It filled the room, and I didn't flinch. I didn't tell anyone, but I smiled at nothing. The light came back after all the doors stayed closed. After all the songs stopped hurting, it didn't knock, it just entered like it belonged. The light came back, and so did I. Not loudly, but for real. And I think that's enough. I turned the lamp off and didn't need it. You did the things people do who are falling in love, held the door, touched my back in the crowd, but you never said it, and I never asked. Because if you name it, you can lose it. You never said it, but I still replay your silence like a maybe. I'm still trying to finish. Some loves don't break, they just don't begin. I dropped hints for the shirt you like, laughed too quickly, waited for you to notice, but you stayed quiet and I stayed hopeful. Maybe we both knew it wouldn't survive a label. You never said it, so I wrote the ending myself, made it soft so it wouldn't cut. But even now, it still stings. You never said it, and maybe that was kind, but I would have rather been broken than unsure. You left me with a full heart and no proof. I saw someone with your jacket, same color, same more sleeves. For a second I forgot it couldn't be you. You never lived in this city. Some ghosts don't haunt, they just follow. Only in memory do you still speak to me. Your voice doesn't echo, it just waits in certain songs, in certain lighting. I don't look at photos, but I keep one in a drawer I never open. I say it's accidental, but I know where it is. I don't believe in hauntings, but I still leave space. Only in memory do we get it right, do we stay kind, do we finish what we meant. Only there do you stay. Only in memory do I still wait, but even that version of me is fading. And maybe so are you. Some people leave without leaving. I used to flinch at his name, now it lands soft like a word I once knew, but forgot the definition. I didn't even notice when. Healing doesn't knock, it just happens. I didn't know I changed until I didn't wait for won't take up every corner anymore. I didn't know I changed until I saw your name and didn't click, until I played our song and it finished without flinching. I didn't know I changed, but I did quietly, like sunlight through closed blinds. And maybe that's the bravest way to grow. You said take care, like it was a gift, like you weren't the reason I needed healing. I smiled and nodded like I believed it. Kindness can cut if it comes too late. You meant well, but that didn't keep me warm, didn't stop the silence from getting loud. You meant well, but I still broke. You held the door, but not my heart. Said sorry without knowing what for. I stood there, catching pieces you dropped softly. You were never cruel, just careful. You meant well, and maybe that's the saddest part. You didn't love me, but you didn't mean to hurt me. You just didn't stay. You meant well, but I needed more than kindness wrapped in distance. I needed you here, and that's what you never gave. You looked at me like you wanted to say something, like maybe you still felt it. And I wanted to answer, but my mouth stayed quiet, because sometimes hope is heavier than goodbye. I just smiled like the past didn't ache, like we were friends, like I didn't still dream of you. And maybe you knew, but let me lie. You asked how I'd been, like we didn't know every version of each other. And I gave a small good, even though last week I cried in your hoodie again. We stood there like strangers with history. I just smiled because I miss you felt too big, and don't go wasn't mine to say. So I let the silence answer for me. I just smiled and watched you turn, and it felt like losing you all over again, but softer. You know, ooh, you never asked why I stopped writing, or why I turned away when you talked about her. And I never asked it, I was losing you, because I already knew. silences aren't empty, they're full of answers. Some things don't ask, they just leave, like your hoodie on the back of the chair, like the way I slept facing the wall instead of you. You kissed my forehead, but not my mouth. Held my hand like you were saying sorry, but didn't know what for. And I let you, 'cause it hurt less than truth. Some things don't ask, like grief, like time, like how you drifted while still beside me, like how I let you. Some things don't ask, they just change, and suddenly I don't wait anymore. But I still wonder if you ever noticed that I stopped. I said take care, but I meant don't go. I said see you around, but I meant please stay. And now I replay it like a wrong line in a movie. I was brave in all the wrong ways. If I'd said something else, would you have turned around? If I'd cried instead of laughed, would we have lasted? Some words come too clean to hold on to anything. You waited for one more beat, but I looked at my shoes and you're right, it is final. I meant to follow, but the door closed quieter than I expected, and now I only talk to you in my head. If I'd said something else, would your name still feel like mine? Would our story have a page beyond the one I folded? I'll never know, but I ask it anyway. If I said something else, would you have heard me in the way I needed? Maybe, but maybe and maybe that's why I did it. It wasn't one fight or one silence. It was the way your replies got shorter, how you laughed didn't reach your eyes, the way you didn't notice when I stopped wearing your favorite color. You were still here, but softer. You started leaving quietly, about a new job, and I nodded like I wasn't the one who used to proofread your resume. We laughed at something small, but it echoed too loud. I remembered when silence meant comfort. We talked like strangers, polite, careful, kind, like the history wasn't right under our feet. We asked questions like we didn't know the answers. You didn't mention her, I didn't ask, but we both knew she existed in your absence, and I existed in what we didn't say. We hugged like friends, but stood too far. We talked like strangers, even when our memories sat between us like ghosts. And maybe we weren't strangers, but we weren't us, not anymore. We talked like strangers, and I smiled, because breaking again would have been too honest. But it hurt the way old love always does, softly. I returned the key, dropped it in your mailbox, and no note, no explanation, but I kept the book you never finished reading. It was mine before it was ours. I took me back in pieces, in playlists, and choosing vanilla over coffee, and leaving rooms before they empty. I wore the red coat again, the one you said was too much, and I smiled because it was, and so was I. I let myself be too much. I took me back from the pauses, from the maybe, from every soft no I said like a whisper. I turned it up. I took me back, and maybe that is the most loving thing I've ever done for anyone, especially me. And it feels like starting, not ending. I should have said it. That night you looked at me like I was the only song you knew. But I laughed, changed the subject, and you turned away. So say it then, and now the moment lives in a frozen frame, in a version of me who thought love would wait. I didn't say it, and you stopped asking. You found someone who speaks clearly, who doesn't flinch at closeness. And I smile in the photos, but inside I rewind. It wasn't fear, it was timing and pride. I didn't say it then, and maybe you knew, maybe that's why you let go softly, so I wouldn't shatter. Still I cried. I didn't say it then, but now I do. Not to you, but to myself, because I still believe in saying it next time out loud. Not in the last text, not in the code you forgot, not in the photo I hid, but still didn't delete. I thought I'd leave you in the door that closed, but you lingered. You were everywhere until you weren't. Here's where I leave you, not in anger, not in ache, but in the song I don't skip anymore. In the park bench I sit on again, alone. You used to be my reason for silence. Now you're just a line I lived, a version of a love I didn't keep, but learned from. And maybe that's the point. Here's where I leave you, in the stories I no longer rewrite, in the scent that doesn't stop me walking, in the name I say without flinching. Here's where I leave you, not because it didn't matter, but because it did. And I did too, more than I ever saw back then. I carry the lesson, but not the weight, and that's where I leave you. I used to laugh before I meant it, not when it hurt. Say it's fine, even when it wasn't. You like that version of me, the polished one, but she was breaking quietly. I don't fake it now, Don't wear the grin that made you stay. I cry when I need and I stay quiet without apologizing. You wouldn't recognize me, but I would. I stopped shrinking in your silences, stopped reading into pauses. Now I take up space, even in goodbye. I miss you less than I miss myself. I don't fake it now, and if I smile, it's because I mean it. If I leave, it's not a test, it's a choice. I don't fake it now, and I love that more than ever loved us. I'm real and I'm still here. I loved you carefully, like the last match on windy night. Tried to keep it bright without burning out. Held back my fears to protect the light. But quiet love still breaks loud. I didn't wanna lose it, so I held on too tight, smooth every wrinkle, ignored every sigh, and in the end, it slipped anyway. You asked if I was happy, and I nodded, because I was scared that no meant you'd walk. Now I say yes only when I mean it. We both tried, but I lost myself trying. I didn't wanna lose it, so I stopped breathing, softened every part of me that made you flinch. But love isn't silent. I didn't wanna lose it, but we did it. Maybe that's okay, 'cause I found what I needed most. Me. I saw you across the street, different haircut, same way you walk, and you looked up and not at me, and I looked away like I hadn't waited for that moment. Some goodbyes don't echo, they just dissolve. We crossed without seeing, not strangers but not familiar, just two lives that used to orbit, now passing like weather. You checked your phone, I adjusted my scarf, the kind of choreography that hides the ache. We were polite in absence, like we owed each other nothing more. Maybe that's what closure looks like. We crossed without seeing, no waves, no words, just the weight of could have been. Still walking, we crossed without seeing. wanted constant answers, now I ask better questions. You were too patient, and I was too afraid. But I see you differently through the lens of who I became. I could love you now, not as a mirror, not as a cure, but as a choice, steady and soft, no longer a rescue. You made tea when I wanted fire, and I left thinking you lacked spark. But now I'd kill for a love that's warm, not wild. Timing's cruel, but honest. I could love you now and mean it, not like before, when forever meant don't leave me. Now it means stay if it fits. I could love you now, but I won't ask, because I respect who you became too. Some people we meet too early, and some too